Hey everyone, it's me, I to the T to the Z M E. What I have here is, first of all, let me just say that it's September the 21st, 2016. What I have here is the brand new Black Series that are scheduled to come out next Friday on the 30th September. I've had these for about a week already. I ended up picking up a case of them. A friend of mine had a few other cases. He didn't know if he'd be able to move them, so I bought another case from him. And I thought maybe my kids would want to open them, but they passed on it. But, they're not the ones collecting this, so they didn't want to play with these. They didn't want to pass, so they passed. They're 8 and 9 years old, and, I got a 1-year-old. But and then my daughter, she's 18, so obviously she's not gonna want to play with these. She'd rather go to college. But I've been around since the first movie. I remember seeing the first movie of Star Wars in 1977. My mom took me to see it. We stood around the whole building and waited all day to get in to see the movie. It was a big hit. Right after that, immediately she ran me to Toys R Us, bought me a few figures. I remember going to Thrifty and Payless, and my mom would always buy me a new figure, or my uncles, aunts would buy me these things for birthday presents and everything. But that was back then, and I wasn't the only one that was into it. All my cousins and friends and everything were. So, but nowadays, it seems more like we are still the only ones that buy this. The kids nowadays would rather do Legos or be on their phones or playing PlayStation or their Xbox, or outside playing with their friends, riding bikes and being boys, and being kids, being girls. But anyway, these are the brand new Rogue One figures. What we have here is, I'm going to try to get these names right. Captain Cassian Andor. I could be corrected and be wrong. Please don't hold me to that. The star of the show, Sergeant Jyn Erso. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And then what's funny is they gave us another Rey with BB-8 in this figure. Well, in this case. As a filler. Because apparently they must have had a lot left over from The Force Awakens. Disney being so money hungry that they're going to try and resell us the same thing again. And they did. They just sold me another Rey figure. So this is the third one that I have. But anyway, here's the other one that I absolutely love. Was the Imperial Death Trooper. I would have bought this figure in 1977. This would have been one I would have had to have had. I think this is going to be a hot seller. I absolutely love it. I'll pick them up for you to check it out. There it is. A little bit better. You can see it. And then they also gave us Kylo Ren Unmasked, which I think this figure should have came out a year ago. Maybe even 8 or 9 months ago. I think it would have been really hot. But to be in this new assortment, I don't think it should have been there. But it is a really nice sculpted figure. I do like it. But that is Hasbro, so that's what they do, And the thing with these Black Series is they're not putting like Rogue One or Force Awakens or anything on it. They're just putting a Black Series so they could put anybody they want. And then you also have this guy, who is really awesome. And I'll tell you, in 1977, this guy would have definitely been in my droid factory. I would have been playing with it with the R2 and C-3PO and R5-D4 and the Death Star droid and all the other droids that played big parts in the old Star Wars action figures, the originals. I think this droid is a timeless droid, and I really like the mold and the scope of it. The mold, pardon me, the mold and the sculpt of this. This figure's really nice. Let me pick it up. And he is K2SO. Now I'm going to go in reverse, folks, and I'm going to show you. He's number 24. And let me see if I could get thing on the back of this. Here's the back. Okay. Actually, I'm going to turn these things around real quick. Okay. All right, folks. Well, here we are back with them all turned around. And K2SO, the back of the box looks just like that. Here is the Kylo Ren. Got a little picture of his face you can barely see. Number 26. Then you have number 25, the Imperial Death Trooper. Got a little thing of his face right there, which is my favorite figure out of the whole bunch. You have number 23, Captain Cassian Andor. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Now you can see their face is a little bit better. And then you have the girl, the star of the show, Sergeant Jyn Erso. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Please, folks, if I ain't, I don't mind any criticism. Just let me know and give me a correction on the name. Really, for how I could give you a better video. And the back of Rey. But there they are, folks. The brand new first wave. Here's what the box looks like. Star Wars figures. Came with 6, and these are the 6 it brung. I do want to say that I think that some of these figures they could have did without. I like having them. There's no doubt about it. I got them a little early. This is one of the first times that I haven't had to watch a video and then say, man, those things came out early. I wish I could have had them. But a friend of mine had a bunch of cases, so I was only going to pick up one case from them, and I said, oh, screw it. I grabbed another case thinking my kids were going to want to play with one, and they passed on it. They said, Dad, we'll rather get the new Legos when they come out. But that's kids, I don't know of really any kids that I've seen that are outside playing with any Star Wars figures. Most of it's Lego. Star Wars Lego is really big with the kids. Or the Hero Mashers, they like having those. But with these, it seems more like our generation, the ones that actually saw the movie on the big screen in 77 through 83. We are the ones that continue to fund this thing, this machine, because to me, I think that the memorabilia I like more than the actual movies. I think my favorite movie of them all is The Empire Strikes Back. I think that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think most of the other ones I don't think so highly of. I absolutely love the fight scene with Darth Maul and the Phantom Menace. I think he is one of my favorite characters along with Boba Fett, but that's a whole nother video. But anyway, folks, I think that I want to ask you, you could comment and please leave all the criticism you like. I really appreciate good or bad criticism. Would you buy this guy if he wasn't in a Star Wars package? Ask yourself. If he was in like military infinity package, or in a generic package like Super Soldier or whatever, would you buy this figure? But because it has a Star Wars logo on it, or the Gen figure, or the Rey, would you buy these figures if they didn't have Star Wars logo on them? Would your kids want to play with them? you got to ask yourself, could they have done without him? These are the Black Series. So, obviously they don't say Rogue One on them. They don't say The Force Awakens on them. They don't say anything like that. Maybe on the back somewhere they might. I got to really look at the thing and on the back and turn them over and really look to be corrected. But to me, I would have rather have had a Darth Malgus, maybe a Saw Ventress from the Clone Wars, a Dirge from the Clone Wars, a Mara Jade would have been really nice. I would have really have loved some Jedi chicks would have been really nice. Some Mandalorian bounty hunters would have been super cool in the Black Series. And Starkiller, I think, would have just been off the chart. I know that they came out with Darth Revan, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a Darth Revan Black Series. I think he's going to be high priced for a very long time because the figure mold is very nice that I've seen from Toy Fair on other videos. And I absolutely cannot wait to get the Sabine figure that I believe is in the same case with Darth Revan and Princess Leia, the original Princess Leia, the 77 version of her in Black Series. That was the actual case that I wanted. My friend offered me this, so I jumped on it. I should have maybe just got one case. But with the other one, I definitely would probably buy 2 cases with the Darth Revan, the Sabine figure, and the Princess Leia figure. I absolutely like the mold of them. I think those are some of my Black Series that I'm looking forward to getting the most. I don't know if I'm going to go out September the 30th to hunt any of these down. I'll probably just look online and see if I could pick up a case, or if my friend can pick me up a few other cases. That'll probably be the only way that I'll do it. As far as going out to these openers, I'm starting to feel a little weird about it. This is something where you're supposed to take your children, and my kids don't even like going to those. Let me know what you think about that. Are your kids getting to be the same way? Is this all about the children, or is it all just about the collectors that are paying and killing each other and buying stuff that we absolutely don't need, but you're saying, okay, because it has a Star Wars logo on it, I'm going to buy it. How does that fit into a household that makes under $100,000 a year? American money. Can you afford to keep up with this? These things are not cheap, folks. They're, between $19 and $23, depending on what store sells them. And then on the aftermarket, you're going to pay a lot more than that, in the high 30s for each one of these. If you want to have it right away. And I'm sure the Darth Revan figure is probably going to be around $80. The moment he makes his way to the eBay sites and everything else. Is this intended for children? Or is it intended for greedy vendors that are just buying these all up to resell them and make their money that way? And wipe the shelves clean. And then when your kid, if you have a kid that happens to be into this, shows up to a Walmart or Toys R Us and cannot find any of these, he'll just lose interest and walk out with a wrestling figure, or a Five Nights at Freddy figure, or a Pokemon card, or a Pokemon figure, or some Legos. Or he'll just say screw it and just stick to video games and play with his friends, and play baseball and football like kids do. So I think that Kenner needs to look at this, Hasbro, and, along with Disney, and said this is intended for children, but the only ones that I ever see in these aisles in the store, or even in the Disney store in the Star Wars section, are adults. I don't never really see children saying, "Mom, I got to have this." But when it comes to these Star Wars Legos or Legos in general or video games, kids are screaming and crying if they leave the store without it. So give me your feedback on this. What do you think? Is this intended for kids anymore? Is this just intended for the adults? How do you feel when you go to these things and your kids don't want to participate? Or if your kids do want to participate, let me know the experience, because my kids aren't into this thing and I'm about ready to give up on it, because I have all the originals, which I will post videos in the next few months as soon as I get some display cabinets of my vintage collection, my original vintage, which is fairly large and very well pristined and taken care of. And then maybe I can make, get my name out there a little bit on the vintage scene. But ladies and gentlemen, and the other thing I was thinking is, how Walmart had these 3 3/4 inch Black Series figures? Why couldn't they give somebody like Toys R Us or somebody who's fallen victim to Walmart maybe their own line of those 3 3/4 inch Black Series in these boxes, but do possibly the original 12 Star Wars figures from 77, 78, but reproductions of them, but the way that we got to see them in 77, and put them in these boxes, as a throwback. And then maybe you could cut the proof of purchase out and get a real missile firing Boba Fett, the kit bashed one that we were actually supposed to get, that was on the back of the box to mail away for, that looks completely different from the missile firing one. So give me your insight on that, folks. Let me know. I don't know how this subscribe thing works or whatever. I'm not one on here or whatever, but if you like my video, like it. If you hate it, it's, positive, negative feedback is feedback, and I will learn and grow from this and continue to do more videos if you like them. And if you don't like them, then that's the end of it. You won't hear me doing any more videos. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy your hunt. Goodbye.